So this is a continuation of my video game elitist rant discussion. I guess talk, just talk. Talk is the most appropriate word for that little project of mine. It had a little bit of everything. A little bit of ranting, a little bit of analyzing, discussing, opinions, actual genuine advice as well at the end of that video. Genuine advice because, believe it or not, I've had similar experiences back in the day where I've spent hours and hours playing a video game that was not just, it was a terrible fucking time. And I've had that. I've absolutely fucking had that. I've spent so much time on it, because I like the idea, I like the concept. I ain't having a good time. It took me a really long time to realize that if it ain't bringing me the enjoyment, the fun that I expect it to deliver, the best option at that point is to just stop playing it, to go pick up something else, which is what I did. At that point I played Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, one of the best fucking games I ever played. And I took up Team Fortress 2, and still, at that time, it was one of the best fucking decisions I've ever made. Which is what I wanted to talk about at the end of that video, I ain't trying to kick people out. I ain't trying to be one of those, go get a life, motherfuckers. Because most people like that do tend to be quite the hypocritical bunch, let me tell you that. I was genuinely saying sometimes that video game is just, that game, that whatever it is, just might not be working for you. And you should really go take up something else. Because something that you come back, you come back from work, you come back from school, just generally sit down and that activity, that's whole purpose is to let you relax, to have a nice little rest, right? And if that, whatever that is costing you more fucking pain, probably the best fucking idea at that point is to just not give it any more time. Go do something else. That's all I wanted to say. Most elitists, however, it's not the case for them. It's not the case that, the whole game, the whole, principle, the way it works is what's costing them all of this fucking dumb, ridiculous anger. But it's their own mentality, their own insanity, pretty much, that's costing them this, ungratified, unnecessary pain. And you can tell this shit to them all you fucking want, it won't impact a damn thing, Not that most people really give a fuck about that shit, because it's one thing that, an elitist is being a fucking harsh piece of shit and not having a good time, being a complete lunatic. Now the other fucking thing is the fact that they're lashing out at you, they're being angry towards you, they're fucking calling you names. At that point, I don't know what kind of fucking, saint you have to be to generally want to go, tell them, hey, buddy, hey, let me help you out, buddy, because that's not me, and that's not most fucking people out there, If you're being an asshole, don't really expect any fucking help from the community, despite the fact that I feel like a lot of these fucking people do need help. They do need genuine fucking help. They do need, someone to go out there and fucking tell them, listen, buddy, if you're being angry over a fucking video game, it's about time you made some different choices in your life. Like I said, elitists are assholes. They're complete fucking scumbags, Who the fuck wants to bother with a person like that? Nobody, right? And the last video, majority of it was a rant. It was a rant. It was me being, quite angry. I'll be honest, I was quite angry. It is a quite ridiculous and pointless subject, but it did actually get me quite stirred up for the simple fact that a video game, it has a different variety of people playing it, And I think most of us can agree that nobody likes a fucking whining, vicious, insane fucking lunatic of a person bashing out at everyone, like a fucking, like a complete madman, right? Nobody likes that. Nobody wants that. And especially the new players. Especially them. They don't want to sit there listening to that shit. They want some advice. They want some help from the veterans, not this fucking nonsensical bullshit. And that's what really gets me pissed off, because a lot of new players actually do leave a game. They don't play the game, they stop, go somewhere else, despite the fact that it's not the game's fault. It's because of these fucking single individuals that turn their, a new player's first experience, first glimpse at that video game into a complete fucking nightmare. So why would that person continue playing that fucking game? And that's very logical, very logical viewpoint, right? And that's what pisses me off. That's what fucking pisses me off. But I've said pretty much everything that needs to be said in the last video about elitists. I've spent 30 minutes, more than 30 minutes, talking about them. Talking about a subject that's, like I said, quite ridiculous, quite silly. Pointless, most of all, pointless, because not a whole lot is going to change no matter how many people would talk about this shit. No matter, how many fucking people got sick of the fucking elitists, made videos, made articles, made posts, actually fucking spoke to the elitists, it ain't going to impact a damn thing. Because here's the thing that most people realize. Elitists have the whole, any publicity is good publicity mentality as well, where they're going to pretty much take to consideration that, somebody's out there talking about me. Doesn't matter if it's good, doesn't matter if it's bad, they're giving me all of this attention, which is what a lot of elitists at the end of the day truly want. They want attention, they want acceptance, they want to have their little, part in whatever the fuck it is, whatever video game they're playing, or any fucking, any activity that sparks this fucking elitism within them, and they feel like, hey, people are giving me this attention now, they're talking about me, it's fucking working, which is, despite the fact that it's the bipolar opposite, a lot of elitists think, hey, here we go, here's the attention, I belong to the high life now, right? And most people tend to, realizing this, just ignore and not give the attention that elitists absolutely do not deserve, right? Because it's not going to change them, no matter how much you talk about these people. It ain't going to change a damn fucking thing. And at the end of the day, these people are going to pat themselves on the back because, hey, somebody spoke about me, somebody talked about me. I guess all of this hard elitist work finally paid off, right? I guess I'm finally the hero of the story, right? So acknowledging that, what's the point of making a video on the subject? Heck, now it's the second fucking video. Why even talk about the subject? And the first video where I said, which was mostly just, I guess, a rant on the subject, a rant on the fact that, a lot of the new potential community that a video game could be getting, restock essentially is what it is. Restock on the community gets completely pushed away, gets kicked out by these fucking elitists, who don't give the new players any chances, any possibilities to actually give the game a shot, right? To let them experience the game. And that's what pisses me off. That's what really fucking pisses me off, especially in a case of a dying video game. Team Fortress 2 had that moment. But for example, let's talk about Battlefield Hardline. It ain't no, revolutionary, unique game. It's nothing really all that special, but it's a game in terms of Battlefield, in terms of first-person shooters, that I do enjoy quite a lot. It was an interesting little concept, I'll give it that. And the point is, I remember even playing that game. Like I said, every game has this fucking, this group of assholes, these fucking elitists. I remember playing that game and joining a server where the admins were so far up their own fucking asses, and anyone, not everyone knew who, but anyone who had a lower rank, essentially, they would shit talk, they would, start using the good old, admin privileges on them, because they're the admins, so now they're these fucking entitled assholes, they can talk shit to everyone, but don't you dare, don't you dare give them a single taste of their own medicine, because guess what's gonna fucking happen? Oh, that's right, they're gonna fucking kick you from the server, they're gonna ban you from the server, like a bunch of fucking whiny little shits, because they can't take their own fucking, they can't take their own shit. For some reason, they have the privilege to criticize everyone left and right, but oh no, don't you fucking dare do that yourself, right? Because then, whoopsies, somebody just got fucking banned, right? And Battlefield Hardline, for already fucking dying game, right? A new person, might join their first server, get fucking completely mauled by these assholes. I mean, that's what absolutely fucking pisses me off. It pisses me off. Like I said, a lot of people, a lot of new players get their introduction to a video game is not a welcoming one. And that's what pissed me off, and that's why I decided to make the first video. The second video, this one, however, is going to be more on the analysis part of a video game elitist, not exactly as a documentary, you might say, but rather more on the subject of comedy, I guess. Because let's admit it, video game elitists are, despite the fact that they're quite the annoying fucking bunch, let's not sit here and pretend that they ain't fucking hilariously embarrassing, right? And funny fucking story, I have managed to discover what appears to be an elitist, a video game elitist article written by a video game elitist. I found this surprisingly off, went down, I guess, a rabbit hole to discover this quite interesting website written. At some points I genuinely start thinking, is this stuff satire? Because just looking at this webpage, it's called learntocounter.com. Mature individuals discussing the cutting edge in children toys, or in other words, grown fucking adults whining over video games is what this fucking webpage should actually be called. At certain times, I look at this fucking webpage and I think to myself, is this satire? I actually feel like I'm being duped, because you read, a single paragraph of any one of these fucking articles written here, and it's some of the fucking stupidest shit. Just the fucking names of the articles alone, I mean, look at this shit. Modern warfare prove once again video game cannot depict the Russia. Toxic behavior, a primer on human nature. Fucking the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer transcends humanity. This is going to be an interesting topic. Not really the whole Sonic thing, but a point I haven't made in my first video game elitist, or just generally elitist video, is that a lot of them believe that whatever mundane, minute thing, they're so far up. For some reason, a lot of them believe that, like I said, for some reason, it's so otherworldly, that it's crossing dimensions, of whatever they're doing is so out of this world. It's so deep in different philosophical realms, That's what I haven't mentioned, but a lot of elitists have this belief that whatever they're doing, is very revolutionary, very deep, very meaningful, when in reality it's one of the most mundane fucking ridiculous things out there. But, well, that's why we're here. We're going to see exactly what goes through the mind of an elitist, a video game elitist. What goes in, the world, the inner world of a video game elitist. What causes these specific thoughts, to arise? Let me give you a few more examples of the titles here. Why I am a Dota expert. Complexity through choice. Rhythm games and the death of level design. And like I said, at parts I feel like whoever wrote this this is satire. At parts I start feeling like I just got majorly fucked, actually, because I feel like, I'll read it in just a second. I'll read this article, and like I said, first paragraph, and you're already going to pretty much, start questioning yourself, like, is this real? Did somebody actually fucking write this? Did somebody, write this fucking nonsense and took themselves seriously while doing it? Is a question that I guarantee you will arise in each and every one of your dear listeners' heads. Even the index page says, "Welcome to the official index of the Learn to Counter video game writing experience. If I have written something embarrassing on the internet, there's a solid chance I have made the even more embarrassing decision to archive it in my own digital space." So, 3 outcomes. This is either satire, or this is something that someone wrote that they now deeply fucking regret, or this is, I guess, someone's genuine fucking thoughts, which would really confuse me. But nonetheless, this is going to be a very good analogy, analysis of the mindset of a video game elitist. And whether this is satire or not, the thing is, a lot of elitists do actually think this way. A lot of video game elitists do think this way. So whether this is satire or not, this is still pretty much a very good analogy. Anyhow, the article is called "I Play for Fun: The 4 Dumbest Words in Video Games," written on February 25th, 2012. Today's February 24th. I did not, by any chance, try to get the dates to correlate. This article is quite long, but I guess where's the fire, right? Do grab yourself a beer and cheers, because I'm in one as well. Anyhow, let's return to the group of scrubs. They don't know the first thing about all the depth I've been talking about. Their argument is basically that ignorantly mashing buttons with little regard to actual strategy is more fun. Superficially, their argument does at least look valid, since often their games will be more wet and wild, whatever that means, than games between the expert, of course, which are usually more controlled and refined. But any close examination will reveal that the experts are having a great deal of this fun on a higher level than the scrub can even imagine. Throwing together some circus act of a win isn't nearly as satisfying as reading your opponent's mind to such a degree that you can counter his every move, even his every counter. David Serling introducing the scrub. Now, I actually really love when articles do this kind of shit where they take a quote and then they of course they do give proper credentials, which is the right thing to do, but the point I'm trying to make here is it's always funny to me when you quote someone that nobody knows, which doesn't fucking help your article one fucking bit. David Serling apparently is a guy that says here, balanced Super Puzzle Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix and Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix. So he is a video game developer. He has worked on some things. One of the more interesting, I'd say, ones is he's one of the makers of Chess 2. Chess 2, unironically, which I've looked at. It's not exactly anything too big. It's apparently a remake of Chess. The funniest part about it is the name alone, Chess 2. Full name is Chess 2: The Sequel, which unironically, when I read, I go back to the old days of fucking 10th, 11th grade, where I was making jokes about all of these super creative video games like Monopoly 2 or Poker 2, which I used to do as a joke, but I guess here we have actual Chess 2. So, there's that. I mean, the guy has worked on some things, but we do have to admit, this ain't no, John Romero, this ain't no Hideo Kojima. What I'm trying to point out here is you're quoting someone that barely anyone knows. And I might be wrong here, I might be a complete fucking dumbass, David Serling might be a big name amongst video game developers, But I highly doubt that. The point I'm trying to make is he's not exactly helping, when you quote a person, like I was saying, that barely anybody knows, that barely anybody has any recognition of, right? It's not exactly helping your article all that much, but it is a pretty good summary of pretty much everything that the author of this article mentions. The funniest, I guess, parts of this little introduction is the mention of ignorantly mashing buttons with little regard. Now, it doesn't fucking matter whether you're playing a game, as the quote-unquote pros, the fucking elitists, or you're playing the game, to have a good time. You're still mashing buttons at the end of the fucking day. But I guess you're not mashing buttons as a professional anymore. I guess you're crossing dimensions at that point. Also, Scrubs, I gotta talk about, just brings back quite a number of memories from the good old Call of Duty Modern Warfare days. When people were using terms like that, Scrubs, 420, 360, barely knowing, what 420 even means, but those were the days, the MLG days, if you people remember that shit. I used to have my own little MLG period as well. I used to think that shit was the fucking bomb, and then one day it just kind of disappeared along with, with terminologies like this. So other than that, takes me quite back. Also, I need to talk about reading your opponent's mind to such a degree that you can counter his every move. Even his, every counter is also quite a funny little description, because it's at this point it's just turning into a fucking anime, reading his mind, seeing through his every fucking move, turning video games more fucking into this action movie, I guess, at this point. What I'm trying to make is, you're a bit over the top, Sterling, is what I will say. But now let's get into the actual article itself. Humans have a biological urge to compete and win. It doesn't matter whether it's face-to-face or in a video game. Thus, I Play for Fun was born. The idea that experts are not enjoying themselves when they are doing everything they can to win, and we are all dumber for hearing it. If you are using the phrase, stop fucking doing it. Well, first of all, I will not stop using that phrase because it is a correct phrase. Also, yes, I will agree, people do like winning, but people also, with a little bit of common sense, realize that you don't always win. You can't always win. That is fucking impossible. A lot of elitists, however, don't realize that. They can't, I guess, process that in their head, which is what I mentioned in my previous installment. They cannot process the possibility of losing. And, as much as I or the next person likes to fucking win, doesn't matter to me, if oh no, I lost this match. Fuck it. I lost a match. Ain't the end of the fucking world. Elitists, that's a different story. Like I said, tryhards, which is a phrase I used quite frequently in my last video. Tryhards, which are the people that like he says, are doing everything they can to win. Some tryhards are quite the down-to-earth people who do try, who don't have an issue with losing, despite the fact that, they tried, they really worked on it, they didn't win, and they'll just say, what, fuck it, I tried, didn't work out though. Losing is an option for these people. They know that that's a possibility, and that's totally fucking natural. Not an option for elitists, though. Now, I do have to mention before reading on that this is a 2012 article, like I mentioned before, but it doesn't really change a whole lot. It's still the same fucking mindset. And even back in, the arcade days, when you'd go to a fucking arcade to play a little bit of King of Fighters or Street Fighter, people like this always existed. Anyhow, continuing on. I mean, what does I play for fun even mean? It means having a good time while playing a video game. Who doesn't play video games for fun? Elitists, video game testers, professional gamers, game reviewers, know what they all have in common. Their genuine passion and interest in games has turned into a job. Most people don't fall under that category, and most everyone plays video games because they're fun. Because if they weren't, those players would simply spend their time doing something else. Oh, that's right, they don't fucking spend their time doing something else, despite the fact that, like I said in the very beginning of this video, you should really be doing something else if it's not giving you the fun and excitement and relaxation that a video game should be delivering. That's the fucking point, you know? A lot of these people are having a fucking shitty time, but you know why they're playing these video games? Because they have to sit there, they have to fucking tell everyone how good, how better, how fucking superior they are. And you want to tell me that a person like this has a good fucking time? You know, these people ain't playing for fun. Believe me, fun is the last fucking thing that they get out of this fucking game. It's not the game that's delivering them the fun. It's the fucking, it's the praisal that they're expecting to receive from the community, that the community is not fucking giving them because nobody gives a shit, right? And then what the fuck did they do? Well, they get fucking angry, they get fucking mad. How dare these people not appreciate the near fucking, you know, the unearthly skills that I have. If you want to call that fun, I'm sorry, that just doesn't fucking sound like a good time to me. Realistically, the only debate is how much fun one is having, or no fun at all. And I would propose the player that seeks to learn every strategy and every nuance is probably having more fun than a pair of sloppy players who play to win. No, you play the game however the fuck you want to. I mean, sure, you can play the game, try to be very good at the game, you know, try to learn all the strategies, or you can just, you know, play around a little bit and just have a good time out of doing that. Like I said, this is essentially the battle between tryhards, you know, and friendlies, whereas one side, you know, tries to learn the strategies, tries to you know, find all of these different methods, all of these different approaches, and then there's the people who just want to, you know, play around a little bit, you know, have a good time, maybe play the game a bit differently, you know. All is fun in the end, really. It just depends on how a person wants to play their game. You know, there's not one singular fucking way to play a game. You have to realize that people are fucking different. One person wants to play, you know, in a game in one way. The other person wants to play a game in a different way, right? I totally fucking understand that, you know. 12-year-old me didn't understand that. 14-year-old me didn't fucking understand that. 20-year-old me understands that shit. It's about time a lot of fucking people did as well. So what's going on here? You see, the I play for fun crowd doesn't care much for video games. That is a completely false statement. But hey, Call of Duty is worth shitting around, and it absolutely fucking is. They grind out a couple of hours each week, but that's all they can handle because it's Call of fucking Duty. I can barely fucking handle 2 minutes. Any more Call of Duty and Call of Duty becomes boring. During this time, the play for fun crowd discovers that certain players operate on another plane of existence. Here we fucking go. You see what I'm talking about here? You know, operates on another plane of existence, on a whole new dimension, one dimension that, you know, all of these noobs don't even realize that it's possible. You see what the fuck I'm talking about here? It's Call of fucking Duty. We're talking about Call of Duty here, alright? Are you telling me that some fucking guy who's sitting there, you know, who's going fucking 360 no scopes is somehow fucking reaching nirvana over here? Motherfucker, he's just going fucking ape shit, fucking blasting off some dubstep if we're talking about 2012 fucking Call of Duty, you know, and you want to consider that shit, you know, out of this existence? See, this is why I'm starting to treat this fucking article like it's satire, motherfucker. Call of Duty is let's just read on. They're one-man armies, the masters and commanders of their virtual world, and these players absolutely stomp the shit out of the weaker players. Here's something I didn't mention in my last, in the first Elitist rant, is that a lot of these people comically, you know, a friendly might be sitting somewhere in the corner, like a heavy in terms of Team Fortress 2. Let's mention Team Fortress 2 again. He might be sitting in the corner holding his sandwich out, you know, just kind of giving sandwiches to whoever in a casual match, and then these fucking try-hard elitists fucking come out of nowhere, you know, these one-man armies, you know, and start shooting the guy, and then start taunting the guy, and then shit-talking the guy in the chat. Okay. I guess good for you, buddy. Good for fucking you. You shot the shit out of the guy who was literally doing no harm to anyone, right? I mean, this sentence doesn't really talk about that. But what I'm trying to say is, you know, a lot of these fucking elitists have this itch to just go fucking murder the shit out of all of the friendlies, out of all the people who are just, you know, minding their own business, playing the game a bit differently, you know, maybe doing a conga line or something. Oh no, I ain't having that shit on my watch, motherfucker, you know? It's causing my fucking nipples to fucking squirm, alright? My fucking brain to burn, man. I can't fucking see that shit, you know? I gotta fucking teach these people a valuable lesson. You know, a valuable lesson in how the game is meant to be played. Do you fucking see friendlies doing that shit ever? Sometimes they fucking do. Unironically, sometimes they start fucking shit-talking to the tryhards, you know? Well, if this is what we're considering out of this world on a whole new existence, one-man army-ish, well, I guess sure. But it's actually grade A fucking dumb. Let me just tell you that. Anyhow. But instead of accepting the investment of time and energy necessary to overcome the experts, the play-for-fun crowd makes excuses. A lot of elitists, in my opinion, live in this almost fantasy world where everybody's acknowledging their super, you know, turbo skills of 360 no-scopes, you know, shit like that. Most play for funds is what this fucking article claims. Just continue on playing the game. Like, okay, I got totally bombarded, you know. Well, fuck it. I'll continue on playing the game. Very rarely have I seen anyone go out of their way, unless for a joke, to start, you know, attacking the experts, right? Because motherfucker, nobody cares. That's all I gotta say. They take their short play sessions and project upon the experience of the experts. No, they fucking don't. And conclude that the experts must be bored out of their mind. Nobody even fucking acknowledges them for a second. They're playing 40 hours a week. They must have a twitch in their brain. They must have no life. They can't possibly be playing for fun. Therefore, I am playing for fun. And I need to make sure that everybody knows that. Again, I feel like the roles here have changed. Usually, you know, not friendlies don't really apply to every game. I guess the less, you know, focused on the game people, I don't know, I've very rarely seen them ever write or say anything about, you know, this whole matter. So they get fucking, you know, shot or exploded or whatever, you know, by an expert, you know, next world, other earthly person, right? And usually they're like, okay, so that happened, whatever. Unlike the fucking elitists, right, that are usually the people who actually expect everyone to fucking acknowledge their superiority. Usually it's the fucking elitists, I'm sorry, right? That's just how I have that those are my experiences when it comes to video games, right? Usually it's the fucking elitists who have this fucking mentality of, I'm gonna go in the chat, I'm gonna shit talk everyone because they're less experienced, because they're such fucking scrubs, hoo 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 ha ha, right? That's just me. That's just how I usually fucking see these things. So I feel like the roles here are switched. That's just me. Yup, it's true. A group of players who play the game at a superficial level, again with these fucking terms, have concluded that they are having more fun than the experts, who can apply their skill and knowledge to situations that the I play for fun crowd has never engaged or considered. Now, in a way, journalism has allowed this to fester. They have beaten the idea of time equals skill. What? Okay. Into the ground since the late 70s. When 1979's Asteroids introduced the high score into the vernacular. Okay, I don't know the meaning of that word. For the best players of that time period, those high scores were not a test of proficiency, but endurance. And while endurance is a skill worth testing, it created a perception that the best video game players are the best simply because they play more than anybody else. I mean, usually that is the case, right? Like, time equals skill. I mean, you play the game for long enough to the point where you know how it fucking works, right? That makes perfect fucking sense. I'm sorry, maybe I, the less intelligent person here, is misunderstanding something, but I mean, that's how it usually is. I mean, let's talk about Counter-Strike Source. Counter-Strike fucking Source, right? Any player, pretty much any fucking player that's top scoring, that's on the top of the fucking scoreboard, right? Look at their Steam profile. Look at how much time they've spent playing Counter-Strike Source. It's usually 2,000 fucking hours, right? That's just how it fucking is. I'm sorry. With time comes, the better understanding of how that game works. That's just how it fucking is, right? Common sense, I feel like. What is trying to, like, I don't get what's exactly being disproven here. You spend a lot of time with a video game, you know how to play it better, right? And I'm not saying that as a bad thing, if you wanted to spend those fucking 2,000 hours in Counter-Strike Source, that's your own fucking business, right? When you're being an elitist asshole over it and you're bragging about that shit left and fucking right, day and fucking night, 2,000 hours in a video game. Well, gladly Source fucking players don't do that shit, right? But if they fucking did, like, 2,000 hours in a video game, man, I'm so fucking good at this game, man, I'm crossing dimensions, man, tell you what, man, I'm turning into fucking Boomhauer from King of the Hill. Point is, these people will usually start bragging about that shit, and that's when, like I said, that's when their skills, their knowledge, all of this shit becomes fairly, a laughingstock at that point, alright? Because braggery turns your skills, your knowledge into such a disingenuine, into such a fucking unenjoyable thing. Nobody, wants to be sitting there as these fucking elitists expect and fucking bowing down to them. Oh, I bow down to you, master. I bow down to your fucking supremo knowledge in Call of Duty, in Counter-Strike Source, and Battlefield. Motherfucker, at that point, it just becomes a ridiculous situation. That's all it is. Moving on. And to compound the matter, the last decade of game development that has hijacked the stat-based systems in Japanese role-playing games and converted them into award and unlock systems for multiplayer games. Call of Duty now rewards the player for shitting his pants X number of times. Every kill, every maneuver, every time you shit your pants, you now get experience points that will go towards unlocking the game's content. And just like the JRPGs, time played is the most significant factor in unlocking that content. The result is that we have created multiplayer games akin to an organized basketball league where you must win 25 games before you are allowed to shoot 3-pointers. So I'm guessing what this paragraph is talking about is that I guess now video games will reward you with shit for time, for spending time in a video game no matter what. I guess I don't see where the issue with that is. I mean, I guess the only way to unlock the to unlock the good shit should just be, learning all the master skills and shit like that. You have to realize one thing, I love a game, and most people love a game that has variety, that lets you play the game in different ways, right? When a game forces you to go down a single fucking path, if it's single player, it has less replay value, right? If it's multiplayer, it'll have less people playing it because not everyone wants to play the game the same fucking way. What I'm trying to point out here is this system, the system he talks about where you spend time in a game and you're going to unlock that shit no matter fucking what. I'm not sure what Japanese role-playing games have to do here. Point is, you spend time, right? It doesn't matter whether you're playing a game one way or the other. You get to unlock new shit, which is the simplest way to keep the player base going, to keep a player in the game, right? He unlocked something new. Like, imagine, let's talk about Call of Duty, since it's mentioned very frequently in this article. Let's imagine Call of Duty. You have the first, classes, right? You have the 4 classes, that you can use with their default weapons, and you don't have anything else in the game, right? That's it. That's all you fucking get. You have the default stock weapons, and you're not getting anything else. The player base would fucking would leave the game just like that. That would be fucking it. When you put unlockables into a fucking game, a lot of people, that's voice correct. A lot of people decide, I guess I'll spend more time in a game. It's very fucking simple, elementary shit. The real problem I can make out of this, which of course that was 2012, now it's 2022, a problem that's real, for example, nowadays, is that a lot of that shit you can just buy nowadays, They have all of these season passes, care packages, all of these fucking cases and crates and shit, where you can just buy most of your fucking weapons, right? You can buy most of your shit without really just, working, spending time in that video game, which in my opinion is the real fucking problem. Now, I've mentioned Team Fortress 2 frequently in my last video. The variety in that game, in my opinion, doesn't come from the weapons. Of course, the weapons also matter, but it comes from the different variety of different game modes and all types of crazy shit you can do in that fucking game. Even if you had stock-only weapons in that game, which was, of course, the very beginning of Team Fortress 2, it had all types of different variety, Then fucking community servers started rising, with Surf, with Freak Fortress 2, with Slender Fortress, all kinds of different fucking crazy shit, giving the game a whole ton of variety, right? Which is what I think a good game, a great game, has to fucking have in order to keep a bigger community. In Call of Duty, which is a pretty fucking standard issue, run 'em, gun 'em type of game, right? The variety comes from the unlockables, right? And if you fucking take those away because, oh no, I don't want the player base to essentially be getting these fucking weapons no matter what. They have to be using the good shit, the supremo skills, right? Or they don't deserve to be provided with unlockables. Then that would be a recipe for the death of that game in like a couple of fucking seconds, because within 5 hours of gameplay, you've pretty much seen all there is to be seen. No new weapons, no new fucking nothing, and not every fucking player wants to be sitting there learning all the fucking, super strategies, all the pro tips and tricks and everything. Some people just want to fucking run around and shoot shit, which this fucking article belittles. That's not a good thing. You're not supposed to be fucking doing that. That's just tapping buttons in that case, despite the fact that it's tapping buttons no matter fucking what, It's a recipe for a game's death, right? Because not everybody wants to play the game, playing it in the same fucking fashion. Some people just wanna run around, shoot some people. Some people want to go do the pro stats. To each their fucking own is the point I'm trying to make here. To each their fucking own, and a game's variety is a good fucking thing in this case. It appeals to everyone. What's so fucking hard to understand? Right? To these fucking elitists. What's so fucking hard to understand that, a guy just fucking... That's the other point, right? Guy just fucking just joins this game, and already these fucking assholes expect them to know the fucking pro strats. So basically, there's no winning with these fucking assholes. No winning whatsoever, alright? You want them to fucking... You don't like the people that don't fucking use the pro stats, alright? You don't like the people who try to fucking learn the pro stats because they don't know them from fucking birth, alright? How do you fucking win with these people? It's ridiculous fucking shit. Anyhow, that's how you end up with I play for fun, which is code for if I played this much as you do, I'd kick your ass. That's usually what would happen, but also not really. Nobody's secretly plotting these fucking murder plans in their head, like, I'm just sitting here enjoying a game, but in reality, I'd like to show these fuckers what I'm all about, Motherfucker, no. Nobody thinks that way, and if they do, which is a very, very small minority, right? I'm saying this is 2012, I might be wrong. I remember playing games in 2012, it was never like that, you know? But I might be totally fucking wrong. And that's a slap in the face. Yeah, it's fun to mock the fans of simplistic games like League of Legends because Call of Duty's not a simplistic game, I guess. But the pissing matches over what video games take skill are purely relative. You don't get to be the best at any video game unless you bring something to the table. That goes for Call of Duty, shitty games like Angry Birds, how fucking dare you? You know, this was pretty much the time when I was playing that shit. Niche genres like shoot 'em ups, and even the limited competition on websites like Twin Galaxies, where as few as half a dozen people may be fighting for the world record high score in a game that history long passed by. Those players do something, they do it well, and it is the confluence of time and natural talent that makes for the best of them. Again, proving my point, elitists do not understand variety. They do not fucking understand that different people like different shit. You know, because simplistic games like League of Legends, shitty games like Angry Birds, shitty games like shoot 'em ups, you know, Flash games, terrible, all that shit, but Call of Duty's where it's fucking at, motherfuckers. You know, like I said, it's really hard to not take this as satire. Really. I don't know what fucking age the author was when he wrote this fucking shit, but of course he's using all the intelligent, smart words, you know. I'm surprised he's not using fucking Latin words at this point to prove how fucking smart he is to the world. You know, this proves my point. Elitists don't understand variety. They don't understand that, you know, someone might like something different. Someone might like playing a game differently, you know. No. There's one singular fucking path, one singular line, and nothing else, right? Nothing else to go down on, right? Which is fucking stupid. It's fucking ridiculous. And people still to this very fucking day have this dumbass mentality. Like the Call of Duty fan base in general. You know, the only fucking game that exists to these people is Call of Duty. That's it. That's all there is. You know, there is no other fucking game. There's nothing else to play. You know, what else is there? You know, it's just Call of Duty, man. The game's for real, man, motherfucker. You know, how dare you play garbage, you know, children games like Animal Crossing. You immature, you know, bastard, unlike me, man, where I'm super mature, you know, I'm whining over this shit. I'm writing fucking novel-sized articles about this shit, you know, treating myself like I'm like, I don't know, like I'm fucking Albero Camus at this fucking point, man. I'm gonna write a book about the fucking complexity of Call of Duty and these superior video games and how otherworldly, other-dimensionally these fucking games are. Understand that there's variety, people. Seriously, there is variety and people like different fucking things, and that's perfectly fucking understandable. So when somebody says, I play for fun, I hear somebody making excuses. I hear somebody who can't deal with the most neural of all neural parties. A computer program doing nothing more than executing the instructions it was given, saying the player isn't doing very well. At this point, it's about to turn into that shitty fucking Onision book. Whoever fucking wrote this article, I mean, I hope at this point you're realizing how fucking stupid this shit is. You know, fucking treating people like computers because they ain't playing with the superior strategies, man. What the fuck? And that's where video games teach a valuable lesson. Pac-Man doesn't give you an extra life because you had a bad night's sleep. Just as your boss doesn't care if that was a really great party last night, just as people on the internet don't care your crappy blog entry was, my first post, go easy on me. But they do care about whatever this fucking nonsense is. They definitely care about this shit. I mean, funny part about this whole thing is if you go on pretty much any one of the given social platforms that are provided here, like for example, let's go on YouTube over here. You know, what does YouTube say about counter to play or whatever that webpage was? Learn to counter, my mistake. 38 subscribers, okay? Yep. For example, here's Steam group. Learn to counter, right? 54 members. Yes, you know, who cares about all of those fucking, that person's first blog, you know? Nobody cares about that shit. Motherfucker, you're being a major hypocrite right now. Nobody cares about your shit either, as fucking evident. The game cares that you presented yourself and didn't perform. Okay. Your score is your score is your score. Okay, period. And whether it's life or work or play, the only way to get better is to take the cards you were dealt and make the best of them, even if the odds seem overwhelming and unfair. In a case of a video game, what are you talking about? I don't get it. I genuinely do not fucking get it. In this whole case, I don't even know, man. There are no fucking cards, okay? You make up the fucking cards, okay? If you want to play the game for the high score, alright, that's fine. If you want to play the game to beat the game, that's fine. If you want to play the game, a multiplayer shooter or whatever multiplayer game, for the fucking kill-death ratio, that's fine, right? When you start bragging about any one of these, however, that's when it's no longer fine. But what the fuck cards are you talking about? I don't get it. At times, I start reading this shit. I mean, of course, the guy who wrote it would probably say, oh, you know, of course, because this stuff is beyond your brain's capacity, beyond your brain's fucking capabilities. But in reality, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's a video game, okay? It's a fucking video game. It's not work, okay? It's not work, first of all. It's not even life, okay? It's a fun activity, a hobby, a way to fucking relax. Yeah, he mentioned at the beginning, maybe it's somebody's job. Okay, those are the fucking minority as well. Most people who play video games play that shit to have a good fucking time, alright? And if their good fucking time, you know, is let's play the game using the pro strategies. Okay, that's how they want to play the game. You know, if somebody else out there, you know, is like, no, I just want to play around, play the game, you know, a little bit, have a good time, and that's it. That's fucking it. I don't need anything else, you know. I don't need to prove someone something. I don't need to pretend like I'm from fucking planet Mars or some shit. You know? That's their business. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about this point. To take the cards that you were dealt. What does this have to do with games? What? Fuck, no. What the shit? Get better is to take the cards you were dealt. No, motherfucker, you play the game. For a long enough fucking time to understand how it works. You fucking said that shit yourself, but apparently that's not the fucking case. No. You don't play the game to figure out how that shit works. I guess you were just born this fucking way. You know how to... You were born, you know, with these fucking... With two brains, basically, is what the fucking elitists are treating themselves at this point. You know, they're better than anybody else, right? They are better. They are fucking... Like I said, at this point, I guess maybe elitists do think, oh... Maybe I do fucking need to know these things from birth without actually putting fucking time into it. Maybe. I mean, elitists are fucking pretty insane, I'll give you that shit. So maybe. What a fucking truly interesting article this is turning out to be. Anyhow. But that's what happens when you live in a society where people are told that they are special snowflakes. Let me fucking guess. No, they're not. But I am. Every elitist out there, you know? Oh, everybody's such a fucking self-absorbed bastard. You ever heard of the word hypocrite? And snowflake syndrome isn't exclusive to video games. After all, my professional basketball career didn't pan out because I was too short. If only I had been 6'7" and I wasn't a crappy basketball player. I'd probably be playing professional basketball by now. Snowflake syndrome, I guess? No? Why the fuck are you so sure of yourself, right? Huh? Oh, I guess if only the cards weren't dealt for me in such a bad fashion, I'd be a pro basketball player. The chances of that, motherfucker, are minimal. Right? What the shit are you talking about? Anyways. The difference is that if I walk onto a basketball court and spout nonsense that I play for fun, people will laugh at me. On some courts, I'd probably get my ass kicked. But apparently, it's an acceptable excuse when video games are the form of recreation. This is actually a very good fucking thing. This very good paragraph. Because I have my own fucking stories when it comes to basketball. I used to go play basketball back in the day with my fucking friends. I used to have a really good time. Alright? I'm a terrible basketball player, I'll just give you that shit. You know, I'm terrible, I suck at basketball, I can admit that shit. I remember once missing 7 somewhere, I don't know, 7, like right next to the basket, right? I was tossing the ball. I used to be taller than everyone else at that time, and I used to be tossing the fucking ball, and I missed it 7 times right next to the basket. That shit will stick with me forever. The point is, there used to be this one guy who used to come around, and I'm gonna pretend like he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. He was playing better than any of us. But this dude had serious fucking anger issues. This dude, I mean, it's all fine when he's winning the game, but when shit starts to go sour, you know, oh no, I'm about to, I'm about to turn into a fucking werewolf or something. That dude was fucking insane, you know? This actually is talking about something very important to me, I'll be honest with you. Because, like I said, I had this exact same case. And in that case, I was playing basketball, you know why? For fun. I was playing it for fun. If I ever go play basketball in a fucking court again, I'll be doing it to have a good fucking time. I mean, some people, sure, they have that mentality like, no, I'll laugh at you, you know, because basketball needs to be professional, you know. I'll kick your ass for that shit. It's a game. And you're gonna treat that shit, you know, like a lot of people have to realize something. This is a very simple factor. The chances of you going pro into like a league in terms of basketball, joining an actual team, are so fucking minimal, alright? And a kid who has big dreams, who has big fantasies, you know, he might not realize that shit. But when it's adults thinking this way, you know, and then making this fucking excuse, oh, because I'm short, you know, so I couldn't join the pro leagues. You know, basketball is also just a game. You know, it's just a fucking game. And you don't need to be treating it like it's a pro game every time. It's a fucking street game with your friends. That's why I stopped playing basketball, because this fucking guy wouldn't calm down. This one fucking guy nearly beat the shit out of one of my friends. You know, it was my friend as well. But he nearly fucking had a fight with this guy, alright? Over what? Over basketball, you know? Guy has some fucking serious mental fucking anger issues, is what's the problem here. Not that we're, you know, not putting our best into this fucking... It's a game. It's a fucking fun activity after school. I'm expecting to join the fucking pro leagues, you know? And half of us ain't, I know, half of us are thinking realistically. You fucking elitists need to seriously fucking stop flying on your clouds for a second and realize that you motherfuckers, you fucking assholes who treat everyone like, oh, they're with the fucking snowflake, you know, syndrome. These people, you know, you're being fucking hypocrites, you know? You have the same fucking beliefs as well. You, for some reason, think that, you know, for whatever fucking nonsensical bullshit, you know, me, the fucking king, I have the privilege to be at the top, while these people need to fucking know their place. That is fucking disgusting shit. That is one heck of a fucking disgusting way to think. Let me just fucking tell you that, alright? Get the fuck down on the ground for once, okay? So, in declaring that they're simply in the business of playing for fun, these players don't learn the game rules and they don't bother trying to see the game on a level beyond the first move. If you're a fighting game fan, you're probably aware that this has significant overlap with the scrub, a player who plays by imaginary rule sets constructed in his own mind for the purpose of refusing to deal with the actual game rules. Fighting game community, I have to talk about that briefly, is one of the worst fucking communities out there. One of the most entitled fucking elitist communities out there. But let me ask you a question. How do you change the game rules exactly? How do you make this made up, you know, rule set? The game's the same fucking game no matter what, okay? What are you talking about? Okay, it doesn't matter if I'm playing the game to have a fucking good little arcadey nostalgic fucking game, or I'm playing the game to learn all the fucking movesets and everything, you know, all that fucking shit. What difference does it make? Does it have any fucking difference? Because I'm sorry, I fucking highly doubt that it does, okay? It has no fucking difference. This is pure fucking absurd. Anyhow, and if you want extended reading, I would invite you to check out battle.net forums and check out the wonderful world of low-level StarCraft 2. If somebody loses to Marines, then Marines are overpowered. If somebody loses to Ultralisks, sorry, I don't really know much about StarCraft, then Ultralisks are overpowered. If the opposing player anticipates a mid-game strategy based on an early game build, then the player is clearly map hacking. If someone makes more units than them, then StarCraft is a bullshit clickfest which rewards mouse speed instead of strategy. In the world of low-level gaming, it's simply not your fault if you lose, because after all, I play for fun. I'll agree with this guy for once. There are people like this, but I said a minority, a very small minority. Maybe I played the wrong fucking games. This guy clearly mentioned Call of Duty. I played that shit all the fucking time. I don't remember having all of this fucking insanity, you know, all of these whiny people trying to make excuses for their loss at a video game. You know, most of the time, all it ever fucking was guy loses at a game. That's it. I lost at a game, I won a game, whatever. Because a lot of you elitists fail to realize, you know, there are other things besides video games in life. You know, for example, now I'm getting back to playing chess quite a lot because I like the fuck out of the game. Chess 2, am I right? Right? I play chess quite a lot. I have a good time. I used to have a lot of great times. Now I decided to play a little bit more of it again, and I've noticed that I suck quite a lot of the fucking times. I make the stupidest fucking flukes, dumbest shit, okay? And I lose because of that shit, alright? Well, fuck it. I lost. Oh well, you know? I ain't making excuses. I ain't trying to justify myself. You know why? Because there are other things I do. Besides these video games, it ain't a tragedy. It ain't the fucking end of the world, you know? The only people who treat video games like it's the most important fucking thing out there are people who don't have anything else to do. And you fucking elitists are usually fucking guilty of this shit. You are the people who usually fall under this fucking category, you know? I'm sorry, man. Maybe whatever fucking other dimension this guy's from, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the roles are switched there. But in this fucking... from my fucking personal experiences, elitists are the people, the fucking try-hard elitists, are the people who whine. Who whine all the fucking time. Who whine with no hesitation, no fucking end. Right? They're the people who don't shut the fuck up. That's just how I remember it. The people who lost, sure, there's the fucking 10-year-olds, there's the fucking 12-year-olds, you know, who are whining over video games, because what the shit else are they gonna whine about? This is the closest thing to a problem they've ever fucking encountered in their fucking lives, right? But in an elitist case, alright, you can be fucking 20, 30, 40, 70 years old, alright? And you'll still be whining about that shit like it's, I don't know, like it's a fucking, there's a fucking Armageddon happening outside your fucking window. Sure, I'll agree with this guy for a second. There are people like that. People who try to somehow justify losing at a game. And the people that were whining about this shit, that were whining over video games, whose ever fault it is, they were ignored, they weren't taken seriously, alright? And that's all it ever was. Sure, skilled gamers such as Greg Fields, IDRA, indulge the StarCraft 2 lexicon by asking people to apologize for playing the Terran race. Sure, you'll get your rants where after playing 3,000 matches, I've determined this game isn't worth the money. My personal experience. But for the most part, the nature of good players is that they understand why they lost. Debatable. And if they don't, they'll try to figure out why. Again, debatable. My personal experience. They'll watch replays, they'll watch videos, they'll analyze build orders. That is true. They will watch all of that shit without, you know, because sure, fuck it, gotta learn the pro stats. They'll consult for help on discussion boards or go whine on the discussion boards more like. They may voice dissatisfaction about a game, but that dissatisfaction is rooted in far more authority and expertise than someone who admits to playing games on a superficial level. I guess the pros and elitists have the right to whine. They have the right to express dissatisfaction. I guess. But anybody else, oh no, you don't. You have no right, no fucking privilege to do that shit. No, how dare you? Anyhow, in the end, I play for fun ultimately implies that being good at a video game is a bad thing. How does it imply that? Well, don't ask me. You know, only losers do that. Now we're going into fucking second grade experience over here. You're a loser. Only losers do that. How dare you? Newsflash, the value of a pursuit is irrelevant, and in the grand scale of things, most people are irrelevant. You and me are not absent from that. So long as those players are being progressive about their interests and the pursuit of becoming better means seeking better pleasures and goals, then there is no problem with that. Whereas the people who use terms such as I play for fun are apparently offended and enraged by the idea of trying to become good at a video game. Well, the only way those people impact your existence is if they log into a game and kick the ever-loving shit out of you. In which case, you have one of two options. You can either get over it or you can get better. Well, yeah, I guess that is true, except that I don't think anybody's being all that crazy about, oh no, guy dominated me in a video game. Oh well, you know, is it really all that much of a big deal? Not really. I don't know. Now, this is not to justify the degenerate habits which exist in the world of online video games, because it was about winning at all costs. I guess if it was winning about at all costs, we'd be exploiting every game-breaking glitch and firing off every cheat that we can. As it concerns video gaming and pleasure, the purpose of playing to win is to decide what games and how games are worth playing. And sometimes you will have to play with or against people who inflict their competitive drive on others. You'll play with or against complete fucking assholes. This is not to justify their behavior, but in order to get the most out of games, you must acknowledge that these players exist and you must prepare for them. Yes, the mute button is a good preparation for these people, usually, most of the time. Are you going to let these players stop you from doing something you love? Not really. Well, you know, there's always joining a different server, muting, kicking them, you know. But I guess in this guy's eyes, the only way to do that is, you know, spend a lot of this fucking time and then you know, 1v1 me, motherfucker, you know, when I have the same level of experience. I'm not gonna let this guy, you know, prove me otherwise, you know, prove me that I'm less good at this video game, you know. I'm gonna train, I'm gonna practice to get back on the throne I rightfully so belong in. In which case, you must be living the most peaceful fucking life out there. Alright? If a video game is the biggest problem, you know, the biggest problem that you're running into, right? That someone's, you know, toxic attitude in a video game has caused this I guess in rage pretty much that you have decided to dedicate hour upon hour upon hour upon hour, you know, to get the revenge that you deserve over this video game. Well, you are living a truly fucking peaceful life, let me just tell you that. So instead of announcing that you play for fun, go have fun. Will do. And believe me, I can assure you that we will both be having fun. The only question is who will be having more fun, and I probably beat you at that as well. Get over it or get better. End of article. Again, this guy, you know, for some reason has decided that he's having more fun because he's playing the game the way he wants to, and I'm also playing the game the way I want to, but for some reason I'm not having as much fun as him, you know, because in my case it's just mashing buttons. In his case it's reaching fucking nirvana, fucking reaching enlightenment basically. I guess, fuck it, I guess, you're the man, you're the fucking expert. In a way, this article is very entertaining, but at the same time, it does bring out a certain bitterness in me. Not for the sake of myself, but for the sake of just some guy, some person wanting to play a video game the way they want to have a good time. And then people like this come out. People like this, butt in there and ruin everybody's fucking day with their dumb, fucking ridiculous elitist mentalities. Elitist and a 12-year-old child. These are two things that are pretty much synonymous to each other. And I really do fucking hope that some people, for fucking once, finally decide that this is not a mentality that you want to have. This is not a mentality you want to be upholding. Treat games for what they are, okay? Accept variety. Let people make their own decisions. Stop treating yourself like you know better. That's all I'm saying. I've spent way too much time saying it, but it just needs to be said. It's 2022. Many things have changed in the world. Many things have evolved. People have improved, especially in terms of tolerance, in terms of acceptance, which I am very fucking glad, very, very glad about. It's about time. But when it comes to this whole mentality, it's almost like it's degrading. It's almost like it's worse nowadays. And it's about time to grow the fuck up in this regard. Now, none of us are fucking perfect, okay? But there are things out there, actual fucking problems, actual fucking tragedies. Video games should not be one of them. That's all I gotta say.